Good morning and welcome to a fantastic Tuesday edition for Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah. On a Tuesday, they say, well, Mike Mexicano says this a lot. He says the most productive day of the week. Feels like Monday, you're doing all your preps and plans. And then by Tuesday, that's when you go to the bank and ask them for money.
It's the other way around, actually. Mondays, you do everything not. You
Well-
push it into Tuesday saying, I'll get it done.
Okay.
And then Tuesday, instead of being the most productive day of the week, it is the most hectic day of the
Well,
week.
true.
If you ask me, that's what I say. But we're here to make sure that your Tuesday is one that you will remember. This is how you get it started right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, indeed. And we've been here for quite a bit, just preparing you for the week. We make sure we get all the little elements that you need to boost your day the right way.
Absolutely. Tuesdays are for great work, and we are starting with you as you're starting with us. Thank you very much for joining us. You might be watching us already on channel 16, or rather on GoTV channel 16, and perhaps maybe channel 49 if you're using the UHF band. Thank you for joining.
You can also watch us live on our website, that's tvcentertainment.tv, and of course on Facebook at TVC Connect. We're also on social media, all the platforms. We're even threading these days.
Oh, yes, we are. Absolutely. So make sure you join us on those platforms. We're at TVC Connect. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And Titilayo Oyinson. We have quite a lineup coming your way. Make sure you do not miss any aspect of it. We know that we have a really great chef. She's preparing behind the scenes, and there's going to be something really interesting that is just for you. We're going to be seeing her a bit later on. But then we also have our health segment
Yes,
coming
indeed.
your way. Miriam Adebola Salami is going to be here. She is the health advocate. Today, we'll be defining what defines a healthy skin.
There you go. Now, contemporary singer Rachel Ogunyemi will be here to, well, give us a rendition of one of her greatest pieces right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Is the one and only Olakira. We're gonna be, taking a sneak peek into his world and finding out what makes him tick.
Adefemi Ebenezer there. Didn't know his real name for a very long time until yesterday, actually.
Okay, all
very
right.
interesting. He does look like an Ebenezer. Yeah, very interesting. Good to have you here in all orange. You're the pumpkin of the day. Congratulations. Yay.
Pumpkin? Pumpkin?
Yes, pumpkin. Pumpkins are known for being very, well, I mean, they're in plenty of fairy tale stories, remember? Cinderella rode in one
Okay.
and everything. But also, they're a sign of life. And one thing I wanted to talk about today, I wish Mary was here, wanted to talk about this with her.
Okay.
We don't take our health too seriously these days, especially us young people striving to make sure that we make ends meet each day. There's been a series of young people who are breaking down, not just breaking down, but breaking down in collapsing out of nowhere. There was an instance in First, like this young lady who actually was working for a fast food joint who passed away, unfortunately. She just simply exhaled and collapsed. It got me thinking, I'm a young man. And I've had certain episodes myself. And I know that it's only because I've been exhausting myself because I'm trying to make things happen, make ends meet. And I'm wondering whether people are considering making sure that they're checking up on their health.
So the issue now is, have we put a culture in place where people don't feel afraid or anxious about going to a medical facility?
Yeah.
And is it the medical facilities that have put this angst in us, or is it even our parents and families? So I've just made it a point to visit a clinic to do a full checkup, visit a diagnostic clinic to do a full checkup.
But you know what they say about checkups? What you don't know won't kill you. And it's kind of like in everybody's health.
Well,
I'm sort of
not
like that too.
anymore.
I agree. Once you cross 40, don't stop. Yeah. But some people are like, no, if you don't know about
You
it,
have to
you know.
check. You have
Yeah.
to know.
That's what we need to let people know.
Yeah.
We need to actually make that a thing, a movement. You have to get these checks done,
So-
no matter how young you are.
So there are health centers in most tertiary institutions, but people only visit when they have maybe malaria or whatever.
or the kinds of diseases.
Or other things, questionable instances.
Extracurricular type.
My issue really is us creating a culture where people are actually, they feel welcome to go to a clinic and actually just get these tests done.
It's also the monies that are involved. You have to pay to get these tests
So
done.
the
and
pharmacies, there are
not
some
cheap.
pharmacy chains that are doing blood pressure checks for 500 naira.
Nah, you could do
You
that
know?
at home. Yeah.
Some
sure.
are even free. It's just the culture. And honestly, a lot of people have ascribed things to people in the village chasing them. Whereas it could have been that checkup that you didn't do when you had the chance that actually chased you. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Wake Up Nigeria. It's time for a news update, and my name is Titilayo Onyison. President Bola Tinubu yesterday arrived at the nation's capital after participating in a two-day African Union coordination meeting held in Nairobi. President Tinubu on Monday departed from Nairobi, where he met with other leaders on the continent last weekend at the AU meeting. The president also said Africa could not attain integration and prosperity while Africans languished in pain. Meanwhile, troops of the 192nd Battalion Nigerian Army operating within the 81st Division area of responsibility have successfully busted an international ammunition smuggling syndicate. The details of this feat from the Army was contained in a statement sealed by Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, the Director, Army Public Relations. He said troops conducted a meticulous stop and search operation along the Agilete Owode Road in Yewa North local government area of Ogun State on Saturday, acting on actionable intelligence. General Nwachukwu said during the operation, the troops discovered a truck bearing the registration number ENU 697XY, which was transporting a large quantity of smuggled ammunition destined for Anambra State. The illegal cargo included 720 packets of Red Star cartridges of 12 caliber, each containing 25 cartridges, totaling 18,000 cartridges. Additionally, they found 250 packets of live black cartridges, containing 10 packets each, amounting to 2,500 cartridges of the same caliber. The vigilant troops swiftly apprehended the suspects identified as Eric Serovo, a Ghanaian national, and the truck's driver, Lukman Sani. Both suspects are currently in custody, cooperating with ongoing investigations. Outside Nigeria, extreme heat wave has intensified in most parts of southern Europe, with warnings that local records could be broken in Italy, Greece, Turkey, and the Balkans. Italian authorities have issued red alerts for 16 cities, and a wildfire on the Canary island of La Palma has forced the evacuation of 4,000 persons. In the United States, millions of people are under extreme heat warnings as forecasters say temperature records may also be broken. The World Meteorological Organization has warned that extreme weather resulting from a warming climate is fast becoming the new normal. Heat waves are also expected in parts of Canada, China, North Africa, and Japan. We'll definitely be having more updates for you on that in subsequent bulletins, but that's all we can take on the news and sports for this hour. My name is Titilayo Onyison. Once again, take a break with us and be back right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
And you're welcome. It's time for What's Up and About. First off, let's welcome in Mary into the studio. Good to have you here, Mary.
It's good to be here.
Hey, Mary.
I like what you're wearing.
Oh, really? Thank you.
It's nice. I like it. I like it. We had a very interesting intro to the show. We're talking about health. Hoping you're okay. Everything okay with you?
Yeah, everything is fine with me. As a matter of fact,
Checkups regularly?
well, we do try to get checked up regularly. I just worry for the number of young people who seem to slump and die these
sad.
days.
We talked about that.
It is scary.
It even touches children in some areas,
Yeah.
especially those who are overweight. And a lot of parents don't recognize when their children are getting to a certain weight.
Obese.
I don't want to use that term because it sounds
it's politically correct.
Exactly what
it is correct, yeah.
And then you see at some parties children eating plates the size.
Yeah, I'm
adults
feeding him well. That's why he's big. No.
No. A child-sized plate is supposed to be a child-sized plate. But maybe that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, we'll get back. We'll circle back around to that. But ye, all ye who spend time watching the wombs
Oh, wow.
of others.
Say
This
ye.
conversation is for you.
Yeah,
Gather
it's
round.
It's actually hear ye, hear ye.
Hear ye. Should I start all over again?
Yes, that's again.
In any case, Mary had a very interesting, not story, but instance that she wanted to talk about this morning, and it had to do with womb watches. I don't know why she's very concerned about womb watches now.
I'm very concerned about it because we were talking about people slumping and dying.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's the financial aspect. Yes, there's the psychological aspect. Yes, but sometimes worrying about so many, in quotes, irrelevant things also adds to it. As far as I am concerned, marriage is for companionship. A man and a woman that want to spend the rest of their lives together. If they are blessed with a child, fine. If they're not, mind your business. You do not know what they are going through. Some people go through a lot of things just so they can have a child of their own. Before you reach that decision of wanting to adopt or wanting to go for surrogacy and everything, it's a personal decision. It is not for you to decide for them. You can suggest, but mind your business. I actually find it worrisome that so many people feel like they are entitled to telling couples what to do with their lives. And even before they becoming couples again, young adults who are yet to be married, you keep harassing them, and your mates are married, your mates have 16 children. Whose business is that? Whose business is that? It's not yours, it's their lives. They can only try. They can only try.
I don't know. There's a lot that's going on in society that we kind of have to backtrack on and look at maybe is it a cultural thing? Is it something that has been influenced by media or entertainment? For instance, dovetailing into another story now, there's this story of is it the quote killer boy that's been trending? I don't know. Is it what people are watching online? Is it what they're watching on TV? Is it the fact that we're no longer using the village style of raising our kids anymore? What could be going on?
It's beyond using village style. Look, if you have low self-esteem, stop trying to project on other people. And that is the problem with this whole matter. Be you womb watcher, be you a lady that feels the need to be in a toxic relationship, or a guy that feels the need to be in a toxic relationship, to the point of you people always attacking yourselves, and then of course one person's life is taken due to it. Because there are so many angles to this thing. You can talk all you want, but people need to know that yes, people have a right to their lives, but you can also act as a guide, not as a ruler, so to speak. You want to be the one to tell them how to live their lives. It's ridiculous. That girl probably knew the kind of relationship she was in. The guy is claiming that, she was on that first got knives and everything. But she knew that she could have easily walked away. But because of, where is that your boyfriend? Or the new guy she gets probably doesn't have money. You left that rich guy. Mind your business. It is people's lives.
I never saw it that way.
I actually don't know.
Yeah, that was quite a way to actually.
People who stay in abusive relationships either do so because of the time they've spent,
Or the influence.
or
they get.
the influence, or even the investment, or even the monetary gain. And I'm not speaking for women alone, even men, because let's be realistic. We keep talking about women marrying up. Men marry up too.
Bit of clarification. Just wanted to tell what that story was. The second instance you brought.
yes,
in.
you should give
There's
us the
been
full details for those
not full details, just a very roundabout. There was the instance of this young lady who got murdered in her boyfriend's home. He's at large presently, and there's been trending stories, even of himself tweeting about the instance, what had happened. Yes, he admitted that he killed her, but says that other instances that have been attributed to the same instance are not correct. But she was found dead in his apartment. They were in a relationship for a long time, but she was discovered stabbed by her parents when they searched for her up until his apartment.
So, we've also heard stories of even parents pushing young ladies towards certain men.
Seeing Kechi that they.
Don't you see your friend? She has her guy now, and her guy is looking after her. Why don't you find someone to look after you?
Yeah.
All those kinds of things.
Exactly.
In the end, the man becomes, I'm not saying what he did was, but I'm just saying he becomes the
you
ATM
push
for
people
the entire family.
into these instances, not minding what they're going through, and eventually you're not even. I mean, it could be an abusive one, like you said.
Of course.
And the end result is what we've seen in this case. Very sad story. That I think it's a cultural thing, if you ask me. I think. You remember that thing where they say a village raises a child? So a lot of people are very concerned about your well-being, your aunties, your great aunties, your mothers, junior brothers, younger brothers, wives, junior sisters, so and so. Everybody wants to know how you're doing, whether you're having kids, whether you're getting married, whether, and all of that. I don't think it's an absolutely bad thing. I still think that it's a way of showing concern.
I still think.
However, I think it behooves the individuals who are the subjects to decide how that influence is going to affect them.
Exactly.
If you're going to come to me and ask me, when are you going to have a second baby? When are you going to have which I do get all the time.
Okay.
All the time. all the time. All the time, you know. But I've had conversations with my wife, and we don't let that get to us. And I'm expecting that people who find themselves single and are being coaxed or harassed into relationships also decide that I'm not going to let this bother me at my own time. I'll, take it as it comes. That's the best way. But yeah, I'm not going to argue with anybody who also wants to show concern. It's
May
okay.
we never know what a family is going through. May we never know what it's like to not have a child, in a home, because some people are looking towards the future. So thinking about the older people now, what they say is they want someone to be there to look after you when you are old. The same way you are looking after them, they want you to have that feeling of being nurtured. Like, I know how much nurturing is going on with my parents now. I know you are nurturing family members as well at home who are getting to a certain age where they need us more than we need them. And it's about making sure that, yes, we keep our culture going of making sure that there are people to carry on our lineage, carry on our homes for us.
And also companionship. Children are a great source of companionship.
Yes, for
too.
me,
They're
for me,
friends.
the reality is this. As much as people want children, you do not know whatever health challenges or whatever it is that is stopping them from having children. It's okay to show concern.
Sure.
But where does that concern become you terrorizing them? No, it's gone from harassment. Terrorizing. Especially mothers-in-law. One of the crazy things I've seen is people being, you're in a relationship, you're happily married, you and your husband, and then the husband happens to be impotent. But because of the fact that society will mock the man, it's
She
easy for you
tries
to
to
call a woman
conceal
barren.
that,
So she conceals it. But then her husband's mother keeps harassing her. You don't know what is going on. They have their private lives. Allow them. It's a different thing if you feel, you are taking these things for granted. If there are medications you can use to assist them, go ahead and do so. And then parents need to stop putting pressure on their children, especially those that have not even finished school, enough to get jobs. I'm sorry, but if a child is well cared for, she will not feel the need to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend that takes care of these bills or her bills.
All right.
It's ridiculous.
Interesting conversation here.
Your opinions, of course, are welcome
Absolutely.
on these matters. Two separate issues, they're sort of dovetailing into each other. We would love to hear what you have to say. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC and talk to us.
And you're welcome back. It's time for the dailies. You might be picking up one or two today, so let's let you know, give you a head start on the headlines that you might be meeting. I've got with me here the delectable. I always say the delectable, regardless of who, but they all are. Mary Bashir-Alimi, thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay.
Good to have you here. We're going to start with the Punch newspaper this morning for our headlines. And if you want to join me, let's begin with the big headline on the Punch for July 18th. It is the 18th already. How time flies through July. Audit reports nails Adamu Mishire as Tinubu governor's shop for new chair. Aggrieved NWC members welcome Adamu's removal. NEC meeting postponed indefinitely. The writer continues. Kiari Fontuna take temporary charge. New leaders to emerge at emergency convention. At the top of the Punch newspaper, FG grants 56 import licenses as fuel consumption drops. Did you know that there is a crisis currently in the, I'll say petroleum industry. But I'm talking specifically about petrol attendants. If you've driven into a petrol station recently, you'd find that there are only 2 or 3 pumps working. And there have been reports that people are getting fired because there's nobody buying fuel anymore.
Yes.
People have, there's power now, so not everybody buys fuel for home use. And then cars, not everybody can afford to go out indiscriminately these days.
Yeah.
So there is that crisis. And there was a report about 2 weeks ago that told about this fact. And it's a big worry now because it's seeming to be the opposite when you think that everything will get better when we remove fuel subsidy. Not recognizing that these kinds of little instances will occur.
It's even more amusing because now people are trying to promote CNG, the alternative to the regular fuel we used to. And besides that, you cannot blame people. More companies are embracing work from home as a permanent alternative.
Yeah.
It seemed like the lockdown was a blessing in disguise. So they feel, okay, they were able to
practiced
pull
for
that
this.
off. Why don't we make it permanent? And do you know where else is going to suffer?
Where?
Workspaces, work hubs, because people will no longer leave their homes to go elsewhere to work. They'd rather just work from home
Yeah.
to save fuel, to drive there, and of course, fuel to power there.
Wow, if only you and I could work from home. Let's see,
That
what other
will
paper
be
you have, please.
Okay, so here I have the Nation newspaper, and the Nation newspaper has this boldly: drop plan to hike electricity tariffs. Manufacturers Association of Nigeria cautions. APC top positions: why Adamu Omishori lost out. There's a lack of accountability, poor leadership, allegations because of resignations. Kyari found her takeover in acting capacities. Al Makura Kekemeke may be replacements. And here we also have for INEC Tinubu, Abuja residents not superior to other Nigerians. PDP LP lied on electronic results collations. Down here we see varsity workers demand 50 billion naira earned allowances. Now, we know, of course, when you see varsity workers, the first thing that comes to your mind is no, not strike.
Okay,
no,
sorry.
No, that's what I was talking about. Like, no, not
Okay,
strike
exactly
again. Like,
then.
please.
Not
please,
again.
Not again. When I was in school, every time I see varsity workers, my heart always went straight into my mouth because I'm like wondering what's going to happen. No matter how innocent it is, you just always think there's an underlying possibility of a strike. So 50 billion naira in unpaid allowances is what they are claiming. And you know what's going to follow soon if nothing is done.
Absolutely. These are conversations that have gone on for decades or over a decade. So you can imagine how much of it has accrued into that, or how it has accrued into 50 billion earned, they said. We move on now to our next daily, and that is the Daily Times, where we have these headlines here. Massive shakeup hits APC, conflict with Tinubu loyalist party, financial controversy. Others see Abdullahi Adamu on the highway. At the top of the Daily Times, Abia weeds out 2,300 ghost workers, saves over 20 million naira. Ghost workers have been a thing from time immemorial in the Nigerian system, whether you like it or not. I don't know if Abia's got 2,300. How many more other states could be harboring, and how much more could be saved if there was such a process through all the states?
You know what? Your mention of ghost workers reminded me of an incident that was in the news. I think that was early this year, stroke late last year, of a man whose boss was siphoning funds in the form of his salary. Now, this man had to go get treated at home, eventually to the village, but he wasn't getting paid. But guess what? His boss was taking his salaries. Wow.
So
that's kind of like the ghost worker thing. So until someone else was put in that position and the person was able to detect what had happened before the person left, nobody knew what was happening.
Sad story.
Until the man eventually lost his life. The issue of ghost workers is worrisome. People are being paid for work they didn't do, for work that doesn't even exist, positions that do not exist. And these are monies that could be diverted into increasing the allowances of those who are actually doing the hard work. It's worrisome, really.
Very true. Final headline here for the Daily Times before we move on to your paper here. The naval personnel destroy illegal oil bunkering vessel, seize arms and ammunition. We had an instance of this from a couple of weeks ago. No, only just about a week ago. Goes to tell that there are plenty of these, especially inside of the Niger Delta, where these are a rampant and a very frequent occurrence. Is that the main source? Is that where we could tackle these problems for? I'm not absolutely sure, because that seems like medicine after death. Where these pipelines are being siphoned from, maybe we should start, and who is responsible. The previous one that was destroyed, I think the investigation shows that the owners of the vessel were actually very prominent people in society. Have they been arrested? I don't think so.
Even the issue of arms and ammunition. In the previous newspaper, we talked about the fact that some were intercepted on their way to Anambra. How are these things getting into the country? Who are those who are bringing this thing, putting them through one state to another, putting them in the arms of people who could do a lot of, harm?
What paper do you have next?
Okay, so I have the Guardian newspaper here, and it says Nigeria spends over 99% revenue to service debts as inflation bites harder. There's a photo story here showing the revenue as against debt financing, and it's a huge one because the debt financing obviously weighs a lot more. We also have Sit at Home, businesses, schools open in Enugu as Mba vows to seal locked businesses. Here we also have Amcon Malls liquidation, return to shareholders options for embattled Arik Air. Of course, everyone knows what's been happening to Arik Air for some years now. And then fresh concerns over cancerous sweetener in food, beverages. So this one is aspartame or something like that. I failed to remember how it's pronounced exactly, but it's been in the news on and off, but then it's come again. And they said, according to the reports that we have, it's been said that the quantity in the drink or in the chewing gum or whatever product that has it is usually the approved quantity. What that means is if you're the type who drinks 2-3 bottles of...
You're taking more
You're taking more than you should.
Oh, wow.
So these are things people need to also take note of as they're, making themselves aware of this cancerous sweeteners.
It's in your everyday life.
And using
you
it
want
right.
to be careful. Yeah, go natural. It's expensive being natural in Nigeria, but maybe more natural foods. Well, tell you what, thank you very much, Mary, for joining me. Always a pleasure having you on for the paper review. Hopefully that you got some of that as well and you know exactly which papers you're going to be grabbing this morning. That's not all for the bright and early morning segment 4, Wake Up Nigeria. Guess who we have inside of our kitchen? It's our resident for today, Pumpkin, Titi with our chef. The colors today are just all over the place. I like it. I like it.
We have Chef Jumoke from Lattes. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Welcome to the Wake Up Nigeria neighborhood.
Thank you.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Oh,
We are loving the colors. I love it. I love the uniform.
Thank you so much.
All right, so you are here to make something special for us.
Yes, please.
And we can't wait to hear what it is. Talk to us.
Okay, so today we'll be having ofada rice and ayamase sauce.
Ayamase.
Sauce.
Is it ayamase or ayamashe? I don't know. Is it
Ayamase, ayamase.
Okay, what's the origin of this dish?
So it was first originated from Ogun State.
Ogun State, yeah.
Yes, from a small city, from small town in Ogun State. They call it ofada. They named the rice after that place. Yes.
All right,
Somewhere around
so
Obafemi.
those are the ingredients on your screens. You need those green bell peppers.
Pepper, onions, habanero, assorted
Meat.
bleached palm oil, locust beans, seasoning, salt,
And then there's always the plantain.
to garnish.
So now you have Titus fish here as well.
Yes, marinated Titus fish.
Marinated with what?
My secret recipe. My secret recipe.
Your secret
seasoning.
Secret
Yes,
recipe.
yes. When you taste it, you understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
The secret recipe, and of course, your thyme, your curry, and
All right.
black pepper.
So I'm loving the assorted meat here, but you need to tell us what you've done to this assorted meat so far.
Okay, so we got it, wash it,
Okay.
and then cut into bits, right?
So is this the actual size we're going to use, or are we going to still cut them down
No,
further?
this is the extra size.
So
You're
very
going to be
generous.
visible. It's going to be visible.
So maybe because I've been cooking for kids for quite a bit, I make them bite-sized, you know,
yes.
like so that you can take like 2 different pieces of meat at one bite, you know.
Yes.
But let's talk about the rice now. This rice is very, very brown.
Yes.
This ofada rice is very brown. I don't know. How do you know the original one?
We have 2 types, actually.
Okay.
They call one ofada pupa
Okay.
and ofada funfun.
Ofada pupa.
Funfun and funfun.
So ofada
this is the
pupa is
pupa.
red, right?
Like it's more
Red.
thick
Red.
brownish red in color.
Brownish red in
Okay,
color.
yes.
And then pupa is white.
White is funfun.
Oh, no, white is fufun. Sorry,
Yes,
sorry
yes.
about that. Fufun is white. So this
Yes.
is not the white one.
No, this is not the white
This is
one. This
the-
is the
the red
pupa.
one,
Yes,
essentially.
please. Yes, please.
All right. So what's the first thing we need to do to this rice?
We're going to wash it. Rinse
Okay,
it.
go ahead. Please go ahead. In hot water, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we've had the hot water boiling.
Yes.
So you just put it into the hot
Yes.
water. So what do you expect to happen?
In like 2-3 minutes, we're going to wash it off.
Okay, we'll drain it out.
So drain it off. and
So
return
while
it.
we're waiting for that to simmer, what do we do next? I can see you've already boiled eggs down.
Yes, please. So we're going to fry our plantain.
Fry the plantain. Okay, we have vegetable oil here. All right. Is it hot enough? Is it hot enough? It should be. Go ahead. Okay. So now we're frying it in a small pan.
Yes.
I've always
So
been a
make some
fan
more.
of deep frying, actually.
Oh,
I've always been a fan of deep frying. Woo, this is hot.
Sorry.
Take this back here.
Yes, please. And then spoon.
Spatula, I guess. Which one do you need?
Anyone?
This one?
Yes.
Yeah, it's my favorite. Yeah, so you need to talk to me about this recipe. Go ahead, go ahead, as you're doing this.
I want the oil to be a bit.
Yeah, talk to me. It feels like something you make regularly. Am I
Yes,
right?
we do it regularly. So, fada rice is very healthy. It's good. It helps with constipation. It helps with diabetes patients. It's very nice. Very healthy, really. So,
I
and
know
better
that
than the
brown
regular
rice is definitely healthier than white rice, bleached
Yes.
rice.
Yes, but fada is good.
All right. I can't wait to see how this is all going to turn out. These ingredients already look amazing. And hey, Lattes is in the kitchen. Still Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere.
And you're welcome. It's time for Health for a Tuesday, and joining us today is Mariam Adebola Salami. She is the business development strategist. She is one, and she is here today discussing what defines a healthy skin. If you remember her from last week, we had so much to talk about when it comes to skin, and here you are again. We absolutely enjoyed that session, and that's why you're back here today. Do I have healthy skin? Oh, this is makeup. What do you think I do?
Yes, you do. So one of the first things you want to take note of is the even tone of anybody's skin. So that's one of the biggest sign to see if one has an healthy skin or not. So you find that a lot of people do have maybe a lighter face and a darker upper body, lighter lower body, or darker lower body. But sometimes it has nothing to do with the products they use. It's just how their natural occurrence of their skin is. The second thing is moisturizing. So your skin is supposed to naturally moisturize itself. Remember I mentioned
Yes.
remember I mentioned
Tell that
last
to
week
my
that
wife.
you know, I mentioned that last week that our skin is a reflection of whatever we put in or on it. So if you eat healthy, it's supposed to reflect on your skin. If you take your balanced diet and have a lot of fat and omega-3 in whatever you eat, it then begins. But please, it doesn't mean you should not
Okay, so
moisturize.
let's dive into this debate here. So ladies especially come out of the bathroom and then they have like a regime, like it's like they put this on their skin, that on their skin. There's one for under the eyes, there's one for behind the ears, there's one for the left arm, another one for the right arm.
Well, that's not true.
Men-
Left arm, right?
Men, we simply emerge from the bathroom and put on our clothes. I do not moisturize. I do not moisturize. I only use hand creams. I do not put anything on my face.
Well, unfortunately, women produce different kinds of
so
hormones
it's a-
that affect. So remember I said that your skin is a reflection of what is going on inside. So women, we have different times of the month. As it is now, if you are very observant, you realize that sometimes your spouse's skin, or a woman or a lady or a young girl's skin is appearing dull at a certain time of the month. Maybe they're experiencing their period or are about to experience their period. The skin also reflects when a woman is ovulating. That's how deep it is for skin. So you can't blame women to want to take care of their skin, because over time, as puberty increases, your the skin on the face begins to change from the skin on the other part of the body, because the skin on the face is probably going through more strenuous episode than the other parts of the body. You also find that women around their pubic area and their thighs begin to grow, where you have scars, the stretch marks, and it's also as a result of some of the hormones that they produce. So you can't blame them. And it's not just the skin tone or the moisturizing part, it's also the firmness. So you can have acne every other time, you can have eczema sometimes to show that
Does that
something...
mean if you do have acne, or especially acne, for some people it's very common for them to have, does that mean that their skin is unhealthy?
Yes, it does mean that the skin is unhealthy, and it also does mean that most likely there is an unhealthiness going on inside of their body. So they probably not just see a skin doctor, which is a dermatologist. Most times, a good dermatologist will recommend that you do some hormonal profiling to find out what is going on. A lot of one of these things can be caused by PCOS, very common in a lot of women around their...
What is PCOS?
Polycystic ovarian syndrome,
Okay.
where you are either under or over ovulating, which then means that you're producing some kind of hormones too much than it should be normal. So it's also one of the things that can cause facial hair in some women and all of that. So yeah.
So there could be such a thing as putting too much on your skin,
Yes.
thinking that you're doing the right thing.
Yes.
For our skin type, Africans, Nigerians, what is best for our weather, our skin, our environment?
One of
And
the
is it different if I live in Lagos from when I live in Ideze in Delta State?
It can be
Okay.
because how we are susceptible to the sun, which is the adverse is the UV rays, is quite different. So my skincare routine in Lagos or in Ibadan might be different from someone in the north because the sun there is quite harsh. It would mean that I can use sunscreen once every 3 hours and somebody in that area has to use once every 1 hour, depending on how exposed they are. But like back to the question, what is the most important thing is to protect yourself from the sun, which is by applying sunscreen. And it's not just adults. Even children have products that contain sunscreen or particular sunscreen they should use when they are going out or spending more time.
And what is the alternative, natural alternative to sunscreen if I can't afford what I find in the shops, which are often very expensive?
Okay, so shea butter is one of the most, you know, I mentioned
You
the shea butter last week. Shea butter is one of the most versatile raw material you can find anywhere. But finding the good shea butter is one of the concerns. So it can be shea butter that has been overly exposed or overly kept. So it has to be fresh.
Okay, well, that's very interesting. So skincare is, I mean, your skin is a meter to telling how healthy
Yes.
you are. If I was to perhaps, let's say, in a roundabout way, say, for those of us who don't moisturize now, is it, how do I put this question?
Is there a side effect to that?
Is there, thank you, is there a side effect to
Yes.
not moisturizing?
Yes. So you will find out that for somebody, your age group,
I'm 25.
you wish, right? Well, let's assume you're 25 and believe you're 25 and proclaim that you're 25. For somebody your age group, you'll find out that if they moisturize correctly and use soap correctly, your skin will begin to crack earlier than their own skin sometime in the future.
What? Are you scaring me into going into a shop and buying moisturizers?
It doesn't have to be anything
So-
elaborate.
Oh, so
It's
I'm-
just something that has
So
some
I stand
level
a
of
chance
oil.
cracking earlier in
Yeah,
age.
yes.
Because I'm not moisturizing
Yes.
currently. If I had started moisturizing earlier, I would perhaps not crack until I'm 65.
you know,
Is that what you're saying?
young guys.
I would like to accept that challenge.
You
and
should.
meet you when I'm 65.
And
Team
see,
no
I told you so.
moisturizing. I told you so. I'm not going to crack. But on a much more professional, serious note, this will affect a person later in their
Yes. So, and then it also exposes the skin to easy damage. So sometimes when there is harmattan, you will notice that for those of us that have oily skin, we rarely react to harmattan, no matter how harsh it is. But when you see somebody who has a naturally dry skin, you begin to see the crackiness on their skin. So now imagine that you are not supplying your skin with as much oil or moisture or water as it requires.
You've spoken so much about moisturizers and
Yeah.
creams. What about soaps?
Okay, so
I'll modify that question. I like the very harsh type, the type that when you're done using it, you can actually see it simmering from your skin. I like it tough. Is that a problem?
it is.
I'm doing all the wrong things.
Mazina is doing all the wrong things because his skin is currently cooperating.
Okay, so how's that a problem?
Soap should not be ash. So soap, the main purpose of using soap is to cleanse, not to erase or remove, right? So you have to be careful. And even when you look at the common antiseptic soaps, they will say do not use for too long. It's usually there because it's supposed to be for a periodic, just like the steroids I mentioned the last time. So maybe you notice you have a bit of rash or eczema or break, you need to use an antiseptic soap just to clean off for a period of time, but not for continuous use. So your soap should be more of water-based, except you are trying to treat something.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's very interesting revelation. I have a whole lot of habits that I have to change. Maybe I will start moisturizing more. Maybe I will kind of like downgrade my soap bars, make them a bit more, what's the word?
Milder.
Milder. Well, what can I say? Thank you very much for coming again.
welcome.
Always a pleasure and always fun to have you here.
Thank you so
You're the headmistress of skincare. Love to see you again next week. Please do come back.
I will. I can't wait.
Definitely.
Thank you, Mazino.
Well, hopefully, if you are Team No Moisturizer out there, you've learned something today. But let's get together and try and see how we will form a movement that's going to help us in our older age. Let's turn back the hands of time. In any case, we're not done here. Inside the kitchen, it's still very, very fun. I think there's a lot happening. So just let's see. Titi, what's happening right now?
Chef Jumoke from Lattes has been putting together something really interesting, ayamache sauce, and of course ofada rice. Now what we have in the pot is recently washed ofada rice, all the way from Ogun State. And now we have the bleached palm oil ready to go. You want to go ahead? Go ahead, so that it doesn't get too hot. Okay. So we have onions going straight into the bleached palm oil now. And yeah, that's the flavor we're looking for. That onion flavor is very necessary. The palm oil that you bleached, how long did you do that bleaching process for?
10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes on full heat, yeah?
Yes, please.
To get the red out of the palm oil.
Yes.
That process can be very tasking
Yes.
in the kitchen.
Yes.
But is there a reason why you have to bleach it all the way down? I don't know.
Yes, that's the fun of this.
It's just the process.
Yes, that's the fun of it.
So you can't really have ayamache sauce without fully bleached palm oil.
No.
So red palm oil does not cut it.
No.
All right. Okay. All right. So that means it's palm oil sauce you're making. You just threw in something now. What was
Yes, locust beans.
Locust
Yoruba
beans.
call it iru.
that? Iru. What type? I know there are different types of iru.
Yes, so there's woro, there's pete.
Pete.
But this is woro from Ekiti actually.
Okay.
It's
So what's the
actually
difference
amazing.
between the two?
This actually have nice aroma, and then this is okay.
So you don't need to wash it.
I
you don't
washed
need to-
already
Okay.
before putting
Pre-washed.
it in there. Yes.
Okay.
please.
All right then. Fantastic.
Yes.
I know that I've been eyeing this pepper mix here. You need to tell us what's in here exactly.
Okay, so we have onions, we have green habanero,
Okay.
we have green bell pepper, and yeah, that's it.
So what did you do to this? Did you chop it? Did you boil it? What did you?
Roughly blend.
Roughly?
Roughly blend.
Oh,
blended.
okay. So it's not been cooked at all?
No.
It's still in its raw form?
No, after blending, you boil it and make sure that the water is out of it.
Fantastic. All right, so now we're taking in some of the orishirishi
You know.
meat. That's momo in there.
Yeah.
There's roundabout in
There's
there.
shaki.
There's shaki
There's
in
liver,
there. Liver in there as well. What else goes in there after all that? Goodness me. So you're frying it down.
Yes, please.
Nice. So it would be out of place to put the pepper in first.
Yeah, and most time I like to add the assorted in to fry a bit and come together before adding the pepper.
All right. Okay. When you were boiling down the meat, what were the spices you used?
I use seasoning, salt. I like to put a little bit of black pepper
Oh, okay.
in it.
All right. Fantastic. It's looking good so far. Hopefully you're trying this at home yourself. If you are, why not make a video of it and use our hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC and show us how it's been going at your side of town. I love the fact that this green pepper is not making my nose tickle right now.
Yeah.
So during the boiling process, I guess it was a lot hotter than this.
Yes, and that's why you try as much as possible to make sure there's no water
No
in
water?
it. Yes,
Ah.
you boil it and make it dry.
So
it
if there
even
was
makes
water
the
in
frying process easy. Right.
All right.
Instead of wasting time trying to.
Noted. All right, then while all this great meaty goodness is frying down in the pan, we're going to be taking a quick break and be back with so much more right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Yeah, welcome back. Now, hey, it's time for another refreshing hour right here on Wake Up Nigeria. It is a Tuesday edition of, a great show. as always.
Absolutely. We're surfing into the Tuesday here, swinging right into it, high spirits and everything, smiles across our faces, hoping to infuse happiness into your day and your life. Not just us two. Well, we also have Mary inside the kitchen who's usurping your position, by the way, to see
I am
what...
not
As if
usurping anything. Like, okay, really? Really? Do you want me to do that? I've always wondered that people will fry plantain before food is ready. That's
Oh,
self-restraint. Wow.
It gives me the opportunity to nibble before the meal is done.
A nibble, and then what will be left for everyone else?
Yeah, that's their business.
happiness is free, they say, and we share these moments here with you guys every single day when we set out at 7 a.m. What you don't know is that we started out right from the previous day to make sure we're curating for you the best entertainment you can experience at the start of each day.
45 minutes left, and of course, our kitchen is busy, our set is busy. We have quite a lot on the show. My name is Titilayo Onyinso.
My name is Mazino Appeal. Want to remember, you can use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria across all social media platforms to be a part of the show. We'd like to read from you guys, and you also want to watch us live, which you could do on your mobile phones if you have the app downloaded. You can download them on Google Play Store or on the iOS.
GoTV Channel 16, UHF Channel 49 is where you are probably watching us from, and as long as you're following us, you will not miss a thing. Shortly, we'll be having a performance. Rachel Ogunyemi, a versatile and contemporary singer with a strong range of vocals, is going to be right here on our set performing. And our final guest for today is producer, composer, songwriter, and singer, the one and only Olakira. He is a multi-instrumentalist, someone whose music has pivoted him to international popularity with big performances home and abroad. Can't wait to have him right here in the loft.
So our previous guest has got me really considering a lot, but do you think I've got good skin?
Yeah, I think you're all right.
Well, is it all right?
So there's something they say. They say black don't crack.
Black don't crack,
Yeah,
especially
cracks.
this one. But,
Eventually.
so,
Mazino, the director said you're cracking.
no, I don't crack. So it got me wondering, however, yeah, there is team moisturizers,
Yeah.
and team, no moisturizers. I'm not a big moisturizer.
Really?
I just, it's so sticky and it
It
takes
depends
a while
on what
to,
type you use. You need
whatever
to find
type.
something that works for you.
I suffer from childhood trauma.
Okay.
Yes.
What kind?
Pomade, Santana,
That's probably
Vaseline.
what helped you till
It
now.
was traumatic.
But
You
it's
go
probably
outside
why
to
you still
That's
shine.
why you're shining now.
Hey, thank you,
Thank
mommy.
you, mommy.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was moisturized enough for 100 years. I don't need any more. So right now, when I think of moisturizing my entire, I do have hand. I always
Hand
have
cream.
a
So
hand
someone
cream.
tweeted about how, people who don't have to use different creams and soaps,
Yeah.
they will never be done.
Oh, wow, really?
And I actually had to resist making a comment on that tweet because I actually happen to be one of those.
Who?
You don't put on any moisturizer.
I don't. So it's only during Harmattan or cold seasons when my skin will go white that I even just put either
And look,
Vaseline on my arms.
Your
and
skin
my feet,
glows.
But I
or
have to.
Ori.
I
That's
have
shea
to. Ori,
butter.
yeah.
That's
So one of my, I used to really not like my elbows because in school I used to have my elbows on the table to write.
okay.
And it made them
Pretty
very
dark.
dark.
Okay.
And I was always trying to find a way to make my elbows less dark. So I used to lean on stuff all
Oh, your
the time.
knees are good. Look
Yeah,
at that.
but
You've got
this
good
was
knees.
this was years of
Moisturizing.
moisturizing.
Wow.
So they were like, just moisturize, just moisturize. I'm like, are you sure there's nothing else? Just moisturize. And I just started using shea butter, coconut oil. That's just on my knees and elbows. And then everything started sorting itself out. But then they also say diet helps with
yeah.
your skin. If you have a really good diet of fruits and vegetables, your skin will shine regardless. So
I think one of the people that struggle the most are secondary school students.
yeah.
Oh, how so?
Having to kneel.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you get up, you look at your knees and you're like, hey, God, will my knees ever go from
Yeah.
being this dark?
If you went to QC, you knelt down on gravel once or twice. I'm just saying,
Wow.
sorry, y'all, sorry. But yeah.
I hear school,
Yeah.
life has changed when it comes
Life
to
has changed now. They have rights.
that.
They have
Darn
rights.
rights. They now have something called rights. How dare you tell me how you feel mentally
I don't
when I'm
understand.
asking you to kneel down? Who born you?
Come on, go and eat the beans, which rice?
We got pick.
See,
Old times have changed.
discipline these days.
Yeah, so yeah, when we were kneeling down, it didn't matter whether it was sunny, whether it was rainy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I started from before, producer, composer, songwriter, singer, dancer, everything,
Instrumentalist.
that word. Olakira in the building here. Great performance. Good to have you here, man. Good to have you back on the show again.
Yeah,
Nice one, man. And since then, your hair has it's still the same hair from the last night?
No, it's been a long time, like about 3
real,
years
it's
or
yours,
thereabout.
it's
Two.
Wow.
I think it's 2 years.
It looks good. It looks
Yeah.
good.
Great to have you back. So that particular track, Maserati, became such a club banger, such
Yes.
a hit that I don't think anybody saw it coming. Oh, am I right?
Yeah, nobody see it coming. It's just like there's a song for that. There's Happy Maserati is a song on its own.
Yeah.
That chorus, it's song.
Yeah.
And I wrote it for DJ DS,
Yeah.
and they're very big in the state.
Yeah.
I told them, "Are you guys dropping the song?" They said, "Oh, bro, we're working with Burna Boy, so right now."
Yeah.
And I just thought about, man, I have a verse. Let me put this is catchy. Let me put it in a verse,
Yeah.
and that's how.
It blew.
Blue.
And they would just hit me up like, bro, you just dropped this song. Like, I'm like, but I ask you, but like, so yeah.
If only they
wasted
knew.
time.
If only they knew exactly. Has Maserati, the car company, contacted you yet?
Yeah, I'm the ambassador.
For real?
Wow. Okay.
So I could like literally drive Maserati in any country and I do that most of the time. I was just gonna, I'm here. When are you coming to pick me up? And
Maserati.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
That's incredible. Maybe next song I release is Mercedes or something. I don't know.
You know what? I have just so I'm going to send my magazine. I want to do photo shoot inside Maserati. Can I do it, please?
Definitely. you
Yeah,
can.
let's do it.
And
let's do
they
it.
can might just even sign you as well because you've got the look.
I thank you.
Yes.
All right, no wala.
Mothers in Maseratis.
Wow.
New show coming up. Well, let's talk about the fact that, people know you as a singer, but they don't know that you're also a multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah.
What are the different instruments that you play?
I play major instruments like saxophone, trumpet,
Really?
violin, keyboard, guitar, drum set, percussion, and
Wow.
I play talking drum as well. So when I heard the other person play, I was like, just remind me of do re mi re do. Like there's a way
Yeah.
it's like you're talking. So yeah.
Wow,
That,
interesting.
we were vibing to that performance, and I know that you also vibed to it as well. You talked about it when we were offset just now. But there is something about music that just brings people together and takes you all over the world. Talk to us about some of the places you visited just because of the impact of that track.
Yeah, I've been around the world. I did my Europe tour, not quite long. Okay, last year. There,
Okay.
I've been to African countries as well. I had some experience too. I was in Kenya and a girl came to where I was, the VIP.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I like her. Can I have a picture with you?
Okay.
I said, no problem. I will snap pictures. And she wasn't going. So I asked her, why are you waiting? She said, you know what? I'm just cool, yeah. And before I knew it, our boyfriend came with bodyguard. I saw
no.
this dog, nigga, he's like,
Wow. Wow.
and I'm like, bro, he said, no, don't worry, just took her and just,
And left.
Wow, that would have been a trending story.
because I was scared. What these niggas are very tall, like they were just coming towards me, like, I'm like, I don't do anything. She's just beside me. We ain't talking, like.
Okay.
Let's talk about you trending. You're not in the news for anything that's adverse, as we hear from other artists. And I'm wondering how you manage that. I'm going to try and start something that trends right now. But first off, how do you manage being so pristine when it comes to social media? Nothing, adverse happening.
I'm more like an introvert.
Oh.
And
I sense it actually.
extrovert, mix of both.
Yeah.
Because I'm a producer, and that producer part is like being behind camera.
Yeah.
So sometimes I took my time to, even if it's affected me for years, I was trying to balance both, like being an artist and being a producer. I realized that when I want to make beat, I need to be at home, I need to create sound, and I need my colleagues and the club, getting like vibes and me, I'm just busy on the system trying to get my sound and record the song.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was trying to
Need that
balance
space, yeah.
everything
I get
together.
you.
So I think I'm more like Lilo kind of person.
So I'm still.
ahead,
I still got.
Yeah,
got
go ahead.
So other artists find a way to always make sure that they're on social media for something ridiculous or something.
Yeah,
What do you think
controversy.
about specific artists like Portable, for instance, always being in the eye of?
Nah, I feel like that is
Don't mean so. Don't.
that is his own selling market. I don't want to talk about that. I feel like that is the own way he can, get his his vibes going on, like get his audience, his crowd. Everybody has their own way of, that's his own style. So I wouldn't say anything about that. Controversy, it's very controversial. So yeah.
Yeah, I've actually, so I'm always on the page of finding where your major skill set is. Now, yes, you had this song in the bank, right?
Yeah.
And someone didn't use it, but then when you released it, it became a banger. But do you see yourself as a performing artist, or do you see yourself more as a producer?
Yeah, I see myself as both. Like I said, it took a while for me to balance both, because like I was behind the camera I was an artist a long time ago. Then because I don't have a capital to push myself, I went into music production. I was making beat, so I lost all those attributes of the artistic part of me. But getting signed back 2018, I was like, guy, you need to come back, like build this whole thing. And 2020, I got a hit song. So it's just between space of 2 years. I wasn't really like strong, but thank God for everything. I was able to.
So you've got a new track out. It's called Kissing.
And Kisses.
Now, Kissing, we're expecting it to be a big one as well. It's been about 3 years between Kissing and Maserati. What happened in between those 3 years?
Yes.
Why did you disappear?
Yeah, I got...
Not disappear, why did you lay low?
I had my own issues as well. Like, I got depressed at some point. I didn't just brief it, like...
Go, yeah.
I just got some... I was unable to focus at some point. Everybody has their own thing.
Yeah.
Like, I was a gospel artist some years back, and I had some experience with ladies. Like I was in a choir. I was in a choir, and I had stuff with about 4 chorists, and I was sacked. And bro.
Get out of town.
No.
I was sacked in the
Wow,
church.
okay.
So, and when I came into the secular world, the whole thing was just crowded. Like I was just seeing, I like right and left, everything was a lot. So
Wow.
I was able to. I actually traveled for
For a bit, to calm down.
Yeah.
So
I
it was
seek a
it that you
therapist.
needed to get out of that space?
That space, because it's very distracting.
I can imagine.
And I was raised by a single mother, so I feel more comfortable around ladies than guys. So it's just very crowded.
Do you
but-
think that you were taking advantage of these choristers, or did you take
Ah,
advantage
bro.
of them?
Wow.
Let's go back there. That's the interesting story here. Which one was it? Were you the victim, or were they the victims?
Church is when you sing in church and you're playing keyboard,
Very
people just get inspired, like so, and the ladies like
Forget Jesus and focus on you. Akira play the piano.
Well, but hey, I'm just like I like your music. I like your vibe. You feel like a very cool guy to me. I don't think it was about the music or being in church. I think they just liked you. That's just me. I'm just saying. But then you now have a song called Kisses.
Yeah, let's talk about Kisses.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, let's talk about
Kisses. That's on the nose.
So,
Like, who are we?
who is the victim here?
people always say this, like
Why?
people always ask this, why? Who are you talking about? But I feel like it's just my expression. Like I express music through my environment, things around me. It was honestly, that song came up in a studio recording camp, and I wasn't even the one who wrote that part.
Okay.
I was just making the beats. I have a young chap in the studio,
Help inspire
and they were just like, kisses for you, make your order today. Something funny, like
Wow.
a lady came in a bar, and you're like, make your order, like kisses for you. So it's just funny vibe.
All right.
Can you do us the chorus? You were about to do it. Do
Yeah,
us the chorus.
kisses for you, make your order today.
Make your order.
Tsunami, you shake, come and take your place.
Wow.
I already be the man, we go show you the way.
Look, I had
Follow
it coming.
who know the way. Kilo fair, waiting you want. Where you dey, share me location. Kilo be, feel it.
Wow, really? What do you carry?
Yeah,
All right.
Now we see why he got fired.
No. But the thing is, if that didn't happen, you probably wouldn't have
Exactly.
pushed. It wouldn't have
One
pushed your
door to
creativity.
the other.
Yeah.
Definitely. You're right.
I'm glad you got a handle on things, and reconnected
Yeah.
with yourself,
Had to,
reconnected with
yeah.
your creativity. And I'm just really glad you're getting new music out there. You're always welcome right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Always.
Feels like home.
We can see the video for Kisses already. Is it out?
Eleke is out. The video for Eleke is out.
Eleke is
Kisses
out.
is still like.
Kisses is still being in.
I'm trying to like, yes, because that song.
Nice,
amazing.
nice. Now, we also noticed something about your
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Very different from everybody else. Most of your lyrics are very clean. Are daddy daughters friendly. As in, I won't hear my daughter listening. What are you listening?
Maserati is not one of the songs you take away from your kids.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you let them.
You're right.
Is that
you're right.
deliberate?
I think it's just my personality. That's just me. That's how I can relate together. That's my upbringing. Like I said, I remember my sister was Mommy Gio that people always talk about, and she's always like, I told her I want to do R&B,
How is she?
and she was like, "You're doing R&B, it's worldly song."
Yeah.
I'm like, it's still okay. I will do a wedding song. I will do marriage song.
Okay.
And she was like, "No, you have to do gospel." So that really helped me. Like,
Your sister is a star. I'm wondering when you can help us. We would like to have her here on the show.
Yes, so.
Please, can we talk to her?
funny enough, she's actually serious about what she was talking about. Like,
Yeah, of course.
oh yeah.
That's why we want to talk.
But we were like this because she doesn't like this. This
Really,
thing.
you guys don't really.
She wasn't in support of this thing I'm
So she
doing.
still feels that you're
She felt
of
like-
the world.
She always said that this boy has a demonic spirit in him, that he's going to start singing Wally song. And she's right. I don't know. I don't have a demonic spirit, but she's right. Yeah.
Wow.
So you did make a switch, but in the end, that switch is building a career for you. And I feel like on God's page, you're building something good. You're building something great. No
Like
matter what,
Ira.
if we can have both of you on here, maybe we can
Fantastic.
reunite you guys.
I mean, that's great. Mommy Gio and Brother Gio. Only Brother Gio got fired. But I like your man. Wicked. We have something for you. Don't go anywhere. In a minute, we're going to be bringing you over to a kitchen where Titi and our chef have been creating something very delicious for you.
I
So
am a
stick
chef.
around. Let's bring you already to the kitchen. Coming over.
All right. Chef Jumoke from Lattes has been hard at work in the kitchen here. I am a chef and ofada rice. Ooh,
Yeah, could
looking
smell it
good.
already.
Doesn't it look good?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. Nice presentation, I must say.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Good one. Yeah.
And we've given Olakira, his own special portion so that Mazino doesn't drag.
No. It's okay. Diet. Diet.
I wanted to say something, but I'm frightened you might choke on your food, so I'll just stay back.
No, say it.
Yeah.
Say it. Tell.
No, don't worry. Just eat your
Then
food.
why did you tell? Then why did you say?
Oh, you won't
I
choke.
feel like you're taking more of my time because I like food a lot.
That's it. So just
Exactly.
go ahead.
All right, have a taste.
I'm gonna say.
And tell us what you think. I'm really excited myself.
Exactly. We could smell it from since, and I was like, "Ooh, this is gonna be
The
good."
dads of those 4 girls looking at
Wow.
you now.
Wow.
Yeah, you like? Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
I like your man. Fantastic. I'm sure the chef is happy that you are the one tasting her food
Yeah.
here.
I
It's the new school of
didn't
Omoge.
want like swallow it before I started feeling it.
All right.
Amazing.
Grand.
Please go ahead. It's all yours.
Please go ahead, and we're feeling you, Chef Jumoke. Thank you so
Well
much
done.
for joining us. It's her first time on the show, and she's done splendidly.
Yeah.
Now it's been a tantalizingly tasty Tuesday
Boy.
here
No hugs.
on Wake Up Nigeria. Olakira, thank you so much
Stay
for
on
joining
the
us,
cross.
and of course to all our other guests that were on the show today. We appreciate you. We will be back tomorrow morning, 7